What's up, Pokemon fans? It's time for the next leg of the GameLocke Challenge Anime Edition. This time we're going Shokugeki no Soma, also known as Food Wars. Now, this is where we obviously have a few changes to the roster, as we know, and we have a few points to spend. Well, in fact, not a few points, because we didn't do so hot against the Elite Four in Silver version. So, in the last leg, there was a casualty, you know, and halfway through the game, we had another casualty. We weren't doing so hot. Silver was not as easy, even though we were running through the first three gyms without issue. Without issue. Even Whitney's Miltank was no problemo. Then all of a sudden, boom, tragedy struck. So, that being said, we have 1 point to spend, and it will be on our latest edition. Well, actually, our second latest edition, actually, because it is our starter from the Silver Run, our Cyndaquil named Toriko. We are going to be giving the egg move of Flamethrower. You heard that right. Not Flame Wheel. Not Fire Punch. Flamethrower. The OG move, a move we didn't even get to the level cap, and this is a bit of a problem going forward, is that obviously the level cap for the Elite Four, not that I strictly follow it, but I also don't over grind, is 50 at best. So a lot of the moves are still from the Gen 1 era and stuff like that. A lot of the moves are still locked behind the levels into the 50s, sometimes the 60s, to get the best moves out of certain Pokemon. And if you're, level 43, 44, that's a respectable level to be entering the Elite Four, but you might not have the best moveset at that point, 52 might be it, 56 even 60 might be where you obtain that. So it was no question in my mind that where Toriko proved his stuff the entire run, getting Cyndaquil early, of course, as our starter in Silver. And I said to myself, you know what? This is what we got to do. This is what we have to do. Let's go forward. Let's give him a baller-ass move. And now we are 0 points, pot of points, once again. And let's just get underway now with Gold, now that we've spent our points. And now we have our new roster ready to go to tackle Gold with a little bit more, I hope, I hope this time, a little bit more respect and caution going forward. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Without further ado, we are underway now. As I already stated, the reasoning for obviously taking Flamethrower is no question. With our new Tauros, our Ichiro Tauros, of course, there were a few egg move options. Of course, we can always increase an IV stat to perfect. So there were definitely some viable options going forward for Tauros as well. And of course, with all our Pokemon and stuff. But it just seemed to me that everyone had a niche move, something that starts them off, that they're going to be a bit of a powerhouse, and I didn't want Cyndaquil, even as a starter, with a decent move set, as the levels progress, I didn't want him to feel like he's falling behind and stuff like that, right? So we definitely went for the Flamethrower there. Now, once again, we get to pick another starter here in Gold version, so this should be pretty exciting. Now, of course, we got to set the text speed to fast, and battle style to set. I've only actually played Gold, I think. This would be my third time, maybe. I only played Crystal once, and I only played Gold a handful of times because I didn't have Gold. My brother had Gold later in life, but he had Crystal. And obviously, he played his version, I played my version. I had Silver, he had Crystal. So, I didn't play it that much, honestly. So, there's only, obviously, a few slight changes. Obviously, it's just a versional difference and stuff like that, but the sprites, the Gold sprites, in my opinion, most of them are far superior to Silver's. It's almost like they gave Silver the Gyarados sprite is the ugliest Gyarados sprite ever. It is the ugliest sprite in Pokemon history, is that Silver Gyarados sprite. But it feels like they had some really badass choices, and they gave Gold version all the best looking sprites, and Silver got all the reject sprites. And I'm just sitting there like, wow. And yes, I'm counting green sprites, by the way. I'm counting green sprites when I say that the Gyarados sprite in Silver to me, is the ugliest goddamn thing. It actually prevented me from using the red Gyarados back in the day. I was like, I can't use this thing. It's so fucking ugly. Like, and I mean, it's shiny, it's awesome and stuff, and I was just like, nope, can't do it. Which obviously, I believe we were still eligible to catch, but I believe we failed to catch. We don't showcase, of course, every failed catch. I learned that mistake on, unless it's super significant. I think I did that for early GenLocke in the GenLocke challenge. Which, by the way, getting, you know, made over a year ago and stuff like that, but definitely slowly creeping up in views. So it was worth my time. It was worth my playlist because it has, between all, like, 30-something videos, it has easily over 1,000 views, 2,000 views for the whole playlist if you count all the views and stuff like that. So that's all I can ask for. You know, I'm not a popular YouTuber, so as long as that view count's not always like sitting there at 4, then you know, I don't ask for much more. So yeah, now obviously we have already talked to our mother and stuff like that. What is our ID number? Let's go. Our ID number is 0. So we have a choice. Well, then, there's only one real choice here, considering we already have Toriko, the Cyndaquil, and we have our Squirtle, Kenpachi. As much as I love Totodile, there's only one clear choice. We don't have a grass starter. It's the best choice to fill in that empty slot right now. Let's go with Chikorita, right? And as is tradition, when I get a starter, I get the option to name at least the starter before spinning the name wheel. And I do end up calling the Chikorita straight up Soma. Just Soma from Food Wars, from Shokugeki no Soma, its namesake. Just like I did with Cyndaquil and Toriko. I don't always do this, but sometimes I'm like, okay. You know, I usually have a character wheel of names of some of my favorite characters, stuff like that. I hit the randomizer wheel on, you know, Google, and that's how most of the names end up. But sometimes, once in a while, and I usually mention it here on the video, that it's sort of like, yeah, this one, I just straight up said, no, that's Soma. So, yep. So, good to go. So now we actually have 3 starters again. I don't think we ever actually had 3 starters at any given time, because didn't we roll like Squirtle like 3 times in a row or something? Yeah, because we never did get a Bulbasaur. We never got a Bulbasaur, which is kind of crazy. Obviously, we have to start off with Garp here, who's got his Thunderbolt still and stuff like that, because Garp takes a long time to raise. And we'll never get to that Dragonite level in Gold, Silver, or Crystal, and that is kind of detrimental to us. Dratini, the Dragonite line only excels, realistically, with a higher level, like into the late 50s, into the 60s. That's when they truly show off their stuff, when they have enough stats and stuff to showcase it. Dragonair does not have the power to back up all the experience that he absorbs, realistically. So... But yeah, no, we have a Chikorita with Soma and stuff like that. So now we're back to a full team. We're back to a full team. I like it. And we've already, as we just saw, we defeated our rival. And now with Shinsui, of course, going up against Faulkner, this is going to be nothing. This is going to be shit. And we're doing this at a level 7 because... Literally, we're level 7. Just think about that. First gym, we're 2 levels higher than what we started. They all start at level 5. I get all the guys to start at level 5. So, I think it says quite a bit. Not gonna lie. And Faulkner was defeated. And of course, once again, there's not going to be a whole lot of catching by the, spoiler alert, by the looks of this list. There are still, obviously, lo and behold, a Hoppip. We do end up capturing a Hoppip. I assume this is just outside of Union Cave, right after Union Cave or whatever like that. Because, yeah, Bugsy time. Yep, so obviously we're skipping all the Rocket stuff because I couldn't pick, like, which... None of the admins have names back then or anything like that, so it's not like I can showcase something like Jesse James or something like that, so going up against Bugsy, but we do get a Hoppip named Megumi. Megumi, you know, is what it is. And Torkoal, of course, here with his flamethrower skill. He's still sitting there at that level 12 since Union Cave. But last time we got him up to a cool lava and stuff like that, and we had to use, I believe it was Ichibei. Rest, God ye rest. You know, that Scyther Sprite. See, that Scyther Sprite's better than the silver. The silver one's not bad, but that one's just better. Just straight up. But now this time, of course, we can just flamethrower the bug-type gym to death. It's not an ember thing. And even with that, being a few levels lower, being only a Cyndaquil stage 1, up against Scyther, it's still going to take a double flamethrower to get rid of him. But the experience there, it's going to be Quilava City right after this gym. So, let's go. But yeah, and the reason, as I was saying before, oh, double level, gotta love it. The reason for this is pretty obvious, is that, as you can see from the disqualified list, plenty of Kanto Pokemon are disqualified. Only a handful of Johto Pokemon are disqualified, but you don't run into a whole lot. There's quite an amalgamation of, like, every route has like 4 Kanto and 1 Johto Pokemon per route, and where it's still a Nuzlocke, I run into a lot of Pidgeys. What can I say? I run into Pidgey, and then, you know, you run into, like, I got lucky with the Hoppip, but we run into Zubat, Geodude, you know, the common ones, the Weedles, the Caterpies. Those are all caught. Those are all disqualified, you know. So we do get ourselves a Quilava here, after the Bugsy Gym, obviously, and then straight up into our rival battle right thereafter. We have yet to showcase our brand new Soma yet. But now we've got our strong-ass water type to go against. You know, Gold here is going to have a... I will say that Ghastly Sprite... I think the silver one's a little bit better than that one. I'll be straight up that most of the yellow sprites are better than the gold and silver sprites, just straight up, but that's just me. Here jumps in the Quilava. Perfect time to bring out our Chikorita, right? Right? So, oh, smokescreen. Now, obviously, we only have, like, Bubble or Water Gun on Kenpachi right now, but still, with only that one Thunderbolt doing so much and Smokescreen, so Kenpachi's only level 12. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. You get really under level trying to get a party of 6, and if you just go through the game normally, we're still only sitting there with Bubble. Yeah, not even Water Gun. Yeah, that does shit. Like, look at this. And that tackle does more, like, yeah, the stat total matters, the stages matter, and obviously Bubble is so goddamn weak. Thankfully, we do have a Berry. But this should be no contest. We should have a level, you know, we evolved Quilava, obviously, or Torkoal into a Quilava. But, yeah, we're seeing that disparity once again with the level cap. And okay, we're taking a heavy risk there. We could have lost Kenpachi for what? Just being stubborn? I could have pulled Tauros out and just called it a day. Ichiryu would not have taken any damage and just horn attacked to death or whatever he's got. And now we learn Water Gun when it matters. We're still only level 13. Like, this is crazy. 2 gyms down. We've evolved 1 level 14. Like, you can... Alright. Switch over to Garp. Oh, for the Thunderbolt. And we get a little bit of a bite. Holy shit. Oh, it was a crit. Okay. And bite again. Okay, if that doesn't kill, I would say you gotta switch out. And, ooh. Oh, but the paralysis? Okay. Yeah, we're gonna go for it. Because of the paralysis is no big deal, but my god, like... Yeah, our whole team is just under-leveled at this point. We gotta do some grinding, but it seems so foolish to have to do grinding just after the second gym. You know what I mean? So, Giovanni-san gives us our spiel about being a trainer and what it means to him, and then we move on. And now Kenpachi is finally evolving into Wartortle. Finally get some something there to go off of. Alright, alright, alright. We like that. We definitely like that. And are we going to get another evolution, please? Yes, Soma is evolving as well. We haven't even seen Soma in action, and it has already become a Bayleaf. Let's go. I think Bayleaf is the coolest one of that line, obviously. Really like Bayleaf. Might be biased due to the anime and stuff, of course. And here we go. It's Whitney time. So, 2 gym badges down. Rival been battled and defeated twice. Nothing to, you know, no big deal. And in comes Whitney, of course. Now, this time, we do not have Ichibei to do some heavy physical attack damage to the Miltank. So this time we're going for the special attacking style. So it goes for submission, and it missed. Okay, that's probably a good thing. Our flamethrower is a very powerful move, but we're still only level 17. And we did get a low roll on that first one, a high roll on the second by the looks of that, so all good. So obviously Miltank comes in, level 20. So we're immediately, okay, gonna go for the rollout. It's gonna do hefty damage. We can't survive more than one. I think we're going for the flamethrower just to see what a special attack will do, plus it's a chance of burn, right? And it does not hit the burn, so okay, okay. Garp did obviously his work going forward. Now, jumping into Ichiryu, okay. The bull versus the cow, let's go. Okay, the rollout has begun, but we have headbutt. High physical damage, okay, not bad. And the flinch. The flinch, we like it. I love to see it. Oh, so close. Oh, but stuck in the rollout. Stuck in the rollout. Or maybe, no, chose the rollout because it flinched. Okay, just stupid. Didn't go for the milk drink. And Ichiryu strutting his stuff. We love Tauros. We love Tauros around here. Tauros doesn't get enough respect. Love Tauros. Ichiryu, let's go. So we defeat Whitney. So that's 3 badges down. Rival again. And here's where we paid the piper last time, right after this rival battle last time. We lost it, you know, so let's go. Shouldn't count my chickens before the hatch, obviously, as the saying goes, but, you know, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, you know. Okay, in jumps a Haunter, which once again, I think the best looking Haunter is either Gen 1 and yellow, like Gen 1 sprite or a yellow sprite, like red, blue sprite or yellow sprite, is still better than gold, silver. That's the thing. A lot of, if it didn't look good in red and blue, it looked great in yellow, and both of them almost beat out every single sprite. I'm trying to think of a sprite in gold, silver that looks better than the yellow or the red, blue equivalent. Like if you were to go toe to toe. And I can't think of one. I'm trying. I'm just failing. Like Charizard looks a little anemic in gold and silver. Looks completely badass in yellow. You know, they're like, you know. I'm trying to think here. While we decimate our rival with a flamethrower, I'm trying to think of a sprite that actually looks better in gold and silver. Obviously, can't count Johto Pokemon. I think it's because of all the soft features. Like, there's no hard lines. Like, look at Zubat's ears. Everything's rounded. I think all the rounded features, Alakazam with his spoons, you know, any sharp features are lost, and they went for this, like, rounded look. Everything has, like, a soft edge around it. And I think that's what took away from some of the badassery of a lot of these sprites. But yeah, if any of you have a comment about a sprite you think looks better, if you're on the same wavelength, obviously if you think all these sprites look way better than their original, then be my guest, say that. But if you agree with me that a lot of the first gen sprites, whether the yellow version or the red blue version, looks better than a lot of the gold silver versions, then tell me, if you're of that same mindset, tell me what sprites that you personally think actually do look better or improved in gold silver. Because I do think there could be an argument for the Gyarados sprite in gold here does look amazing. Let's be real. That sprite might be one of the best Gyarados sprites. I like the yellow one, and I think the red-blue one is probably the best one, but a good argument could be made for. Actually, I think that would be one. I think the Gyarados sprite is an exception. But yeah, we obviously easily kicked the rival's ass because we got this. We have his number. We have his number. So I was never worried about the rival. It's the upcoming battle I'm worried about. Okay. Apparently we catch ourselves a Raticate named Arena. Arena. The main love interest or the main heroine of Shokugeki no Soma. Okay, so now we have ourselves a Raticate. That's pretty cool. Well, we never did. We had a Rattata for so long, but we never evolved it. So, you know. And up against Morty once again. Once again, we're up against Morty. And Ghastly. Alright, let's just go straight for, because once again... Yeah, let's just go straight for this shit. It's flamethrower time. Obviously, Dig would still work at this point, because abilities don't exist yet. Right? Oh, what? I went for cut? What did I go for? Oh, I think I must have misclicked there. I was going for dig. Oh, I must... Or I was going for... I must have misclicked. I don't know. And we got rid of the Haunter, but now we got a Curse. We probably wouldn't have killed in one hit anyways. Okay, here comes the Gengar. Hypnosis. Flamethrower. Does decent damage. We got the burn! We got the burn. There's that curse. We did get the burn. Okay, we're looking a little worried here. We're a little more highly leveled. We did some grinding there. We were a little more highly leveled this time around. Okay, Shunsui, our goat, who just got sleep. But the burn's going to help. So, like, we're taking chip damage. We can just keep switching around. We got rid of the first Ghastly, the Haunter, and now we're working on the Gengar. We're just going to keep switching. Because it's going to go for Dream Eater, Hurt by the Burn, and then I can go for a Thunderbolt, a Surf. Oh man, yeah, like Garp is stacked this time. Like, we are not playing around with Morty. We made sure, obviously we went through the routes and we like went towards Olivine and towards Mahogany, and we did as much as we could with our limitations, you know. And the burn gets rid of him, even though we put 2 of our Pokemon to sleep. He could never Dream Eater us. And in comes the second Haunter. Level 23 and stuff, so we switch out because we still got plenty of firepower going here. And finally, we're going to showcase Soma's debut! It's Bayleaf with a Nightshade attack. And what are we going to do? We can't really do much of anything. I don't know why I switched into... Well, it's because I'm fully healed. That's probably why. Can't poison him. Can't do... Okay, so we're definitely going to have to switch. So, not the best showcasing. Just do a quick Razor Leaf just because we can, I guess. Could really switch back into Torkoal. Yeah. Either go for Dig or... His abilities were introduced... Wait, were Natures introduced or abilities introduced? In Gen 3. Right? Gen 3 was the abilities and the natures. Yeah, I'm almost positive of that. Okay, so we're going to take the Nightshade, but obviously 23 damage. And we outspeed him, which is what we were testing. So unless he went for a potion and he didn't. A little bit heavy-handed there, dealing with the Gengar and stuff like that. But we obviously, if we had to, we would use some items, heal our guys up and stuff like that. Level 24 now. Not the best showing for the end of the fight, but getting rid of that Gengar was some, I personally think, some well-handled stuff. And now we're up against the 5th gym leader right away, obviously. And I don't expect the levels to be that crazy of a change, because we probably did most of the trainers going forward to get ourselves into the mid-20s in the first place. If you recall, we barely got to level 30 for our Dragonair last time in Pokemon Silver. We evolved between this gym battle and Jasmine. So, let's see what we're up to this time. Kenpachi jumps in. 27, okay, they've gained a couple of levels, you know, but, which, alright, fair enough, but nothing crazy. So we go for the Ice Beam. Oh, yeah, because we don't have our Psychic type anymore. We don't have Itachi. And we don't have Ichibei. So we have no... We don't have anything super effective against fighting types anymore. So I think we were just trying to go for a freeze there. It didn't really work out. Went for the Furious Swipes. Yeah, because Surf obviously does way better. And we could have two-shot this Primate by the looks of it. We're switching up for... Oh, man. Look at us go. Yeah, we did. We definitely... We were not playing around this time. We've been grinding as we've been going, I'm sure. Like, probably... Usually in... I remember an old rule I used to have. Like, every time you hit a new route, you made sure everybody got a level before moving on to the next route, sort of idea. And if you had to go to the Pokemon Center, you went to the Pokemon Center. So, that's probably what I was doing. Like, for each route, I made sure, like, at least 4... I would gain at least 5-6 levels team-wide and go from there. And yeah, Garp's going to evolve into a Dragonair, but it's still around the same timing as Silver. It's just that the rest of the team is as well-rounded at this point. So, obviously, we have an option. Now, oh, right, we don't just need Shunsui anymore. We have Soma for the Poliwrath. Dynamic Punch, that probably would have done a lot, but it missed. Which is in its nature. That wasn't really super lucky. That was just normal luck. Razor Leaf didn't do near as much as I thought. But, oh, it was not a crit. Which Razor Leaf normally is. And it is a Poliwrath. It's definitely bulky. That's twice without that. Dynamic Punch finally hits after 3 tries. And, yep, does pack a wallop. And we get the confusion. And I do not want to risk that, obviously. Whoever would. Who would want to risk that? So we do switch out for Shunsui here in the end. Who also hits the Dynamic Punch. So 2 out of... Which is straight up the accuracy. And of course, another confusion. I can't take that risk. Oh, I was smart. I was smart and I had a... Oh no. It was just a berry. Am I crazy? Okay. I just took my life into my own hands there because had the confusion hit and then he hit a Dynamic Punch, I die. If he probably hits a Surf or something like that or whatever else he's got, I probably die. That was a bold-ass move. I should have been punished for that and I wasn't. But that's kind of crazy. Okay, so, and as I said, after the, of course, the gym battle, Garp evolves into a Dragonair. Looking very badass. Dragonair looking so fine. Yeah, actually, the Dragonair sprites in Silver and Gold, the gold one looks better than yellow and red and blue, I would say. And now, of course, straight into Jasmine because this is like a sort of a back-to-back gym battle after you do the storyline progression. So, obviously, this time we have a Flamethrower Toriko, not a Flame Wheel, not an Ember. This is gonna be pretty straightforward. And in comes the Steelix, which we're not afraid of. He doesn't have Earthquake. Let's go. Flamethrower his ass. Holy shit. And the burn. And the burn. Even with that rock throw, that'll do about half. But with that burn, not even close. And that burn almost takes him out. Almost takes him out. Here comes the Hyper Potion. But it doesn't matter because it's not a full restore. Still burned. Attack is half. We've got this. Toriko is going to sweep Jasmine as he should. Let's go. Hurt by that burn. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. I'm not letting up. I'm just Flamethrower. Flamethrower every time. Let's go, baby. Let's do this. And level 31. Let's go. Try to learn Flame Wheel. Just so cute. But we will... No. I can't... Yeah, because of cut, I can't do it. That's a little unfortunate. And here we go. Flamethrower. Yeah, we swept Jasmine that time. Okay, okay. let's not get too cocky here. We know what happened the last time. We lost 2 major Pokemon major players. One of which, one of the best Pokemon game-wide ever. So, let's not rest on the laurels. But, so from gyms 5 to 6 to now 7. Now, there was no problem with 6. 5, we got a little dicey at the end. I do not like my gameplay choices there. But, here up against Price. And, of course, now, we have Soma. Gotta make up for some poor showings right now. Okay. Of course, this is still the ice gym. So, like, everything is still harsher on us, obviously. Our speed fell there. Not great. But we can at least do something to the gym leader, right? Because it's all water ice, right? And we do get a... We do defeat the Seal. In comes the Dugong, who's going to have Aurora Beam, I believe. And, of course, the speed. I don't know if that speed drop mattered as much. That Dugong might have outsped us anyways. That Aurora Beam does enough that I've probably got to switch. But I'm looking for that critical hit Razor Leaf, you know? We got it. A little too late, but we still got it. So, we're all level 30, 31. So, we're a very well-rounded team at this point. Obviously, already done the Lake of Rage stuff. Did not get the red Gyarados, obviously. We don't have a Gyarados, do we? Never caught a Gyarados, so maybe we tried and failed twice. That's entirely possible. And going for that flamethrower with Torkoal. Oh, because I get what we're doing here. Exactly what we're doing. So you switch into Torkoal, and now Piloswine will come out. We can kill that thing because it's neutral damage. And then Piloswine comes out, doesn't have Earthquake, doesn't have ground type moves. I think maybe Mud Slap, but we're super effective. We got Flamethrower. We almost one-shot his ass. We almost one-shot him. And then he goes for the Mist. Okay, fair enough. But still. Goes for the Hyper Potion. But, see, this gym would obviously be more difficult if they had given Piloswine something like, obviously, Earthquake. And at Gym 7... it wouldn't be crazy. I mean, you gotta remember, the champion has well under-leveled Dragonites, so giving a Piloswine an Earthquake, you know, at Gym 7 is sort of like, okay, that's unfair, but it is what it is, right? Like, the gym leaders are supposed to be tough. So, anyway, I guess I'm bitching too much, but we get rid of him. And now we have a chance to get a Scyther because, oh, we went for, I see what we did. We went for the bug catching contest, which of course is eligible, just like the Safari Zone. National Park and bug catching contests are 2 separate entities, and we do catch a Scyther named Joe. Soma's father. I would love nothing more than to use a Scyther. Scyther is one of my favorite Pokemon. And of course, but now here in Gen 2, Scizor. Scizor is a thing. But I'm going to say that this team, that must have been some glitch with the emulator right there. Did you guys see that and hear that? That wasn't my recording, was it? Yeah. Sorry, I edited this, you know, I edited it in stages, you know, there's quite a bit to edit and a lot of footage to go through. So I edited this in stages, and I do forget if that was in the actual video itself, or if that was right just now. Like, you know, the computer had a hiccup or something. Huh. Anyways, as we're defeating our rival here, yeah, I would love to use a Scyther. I would love to use a Scizor. I've actually never went through a game with a Scizor, I don't believe, because, once again, it's all post-game items, and, you know, catching Scyther is very rare until late game or post-game in a lot of games, so it's something I've never really had much of an opportunity to do, so I would absolutely love. Oh, you seen Shadow Ball? No, this is a Shadow Ball, bitch. One shot. Look at that. He Shadow Balled me? I'm Shunsui, motherfucker. I Shadow Ball you. And, which we can basically do again, but double kick. But yeah, looking at this lineup, who do you take out for him? I mean, even though, obviously right now, from what we're seeing, Soma hasn't really carried a whole lot of weight. It's still a starter. Would you replace a Scyther with a starter, given the moveset, given the stats? Would you really take the opportunity to switch out Soma for Jirichiro? Like, that's the only viable option in my opinion, because you're not getting rid of Kenpachi, you're not getting rid of Toriko, you're not getting rid of Ichiryu. Like, there's the only other option to swap would be Scyther. For Scyther would be the Chikorita, would be Soma, or right now the Bayleaf. And I'm not saying, like, maybe I'm making a bad decision here, but I think we stick with our starters. They're more well-rounded, their stats are higher, and I can't be guaranteed, obviously this is a Nuzlocke and stuff, I'm not going to be eligible to evolve Scyther into a Scizor, just like I can't use a Dragonite. So Scizor is not really an option. And then speaking of Soma, evolves into a Megumi here, a Megami. How do you say into a Meganium? Meganium? I've never known how to say that one. And Kenpachi also evolves. Kenpachi into Blastoise. So we have Megunium, Meganium, whatever. Blastoise. You know, you think I grew up in the 90s. I've never heard that spelled or said right. And Toriko. So our three starters, basically, half our team is starters from different games, and now they've all evolved into their final form, which is fantastic. And once again, are you really going to tell me that Scyther is worthwhile, as cool as he is, but versus Magnium? You know, I keep switching that name. I don't fucking know how to do that. That's why he's Soma. Yeah. But yeah, really disappointing, honestly, because it'd be so cool to use a Scizor. I've never used a Scizor. Spirit of the Nuzlocke is to try to use Pokemon you've never used. But we're never going to get the chance to evolve them with the metal stuff. And I could choose to do that if I was willing to bring him into the Hall of Fame team as we go up against Claire here. I could choose to spend a point like I did with Shunsui and say, I get a metal coat. And I can evolve him whenever I want. Like, I can spend a point if we get that far. As long as I bring Scyther into the Hall of Fame team, I could start with a metal coat from here on out. That is an option. That is an option. You know, because we're allowed to do that. You know, one relevant hold item. Like, I mean, you could probably abuse that, but obviously I'm not trying to abuse that. So, and we're relatively the same level as we go up against Claire here that we were last time, level 38 Kenpachi, who just took a critical, super effective hit, and because we were paralyzed and stuff like that, so now we really should be switching up here. I guess we're gonna, yeah, see, what I love it, and here's why we can't switch out Ichiryu. Normal type Pokemon, bulky normal types, are the best because they're just a wall. They're like, hey, I don't have any other option. Switch into this guy, because he's going to be able to hit hard and take a few hits in return. If you have no other option, at the very least you can stall, you can heal, you can use items. You know, he Thunder Waves us. Okay, so this Claire is playing so much differently than Silver's Claire. I don't even know what's going on. But we're just going for it because we're like, it's Ichiryu. He's fine. He's bulky. He's fine. He can take it. Finally get rid of that Thunder Wave loving Dragonair. Goes for the Ice Beam. And does about the same what we thought. That paralysis isn't holding our Ichiryu down, though. He is the man, the myth, the legend, and he does 3/4 health to the Dragonair. It's like, you know what? I might just heal this guy up. And I am. Oh, I'm going to use a Hyper Potion early. Let's go. Oh, on Kenpachi. We're using this opportunity because we know he can't kill us from that range. Without a crit, obviously. And holy shit. Oh, tried to run. Now we can switch back out safely to Kenpachi, because it's just going to take an Ice Beam to the face, not going to do very much, and then we'll be able to do our neutral Ice Beam to the Kingdra that's coming. So we Ice Beam up the Dragonair. That's the last Dragonair. That one goes down. The Kingdra's going to come out level 40. We're only 2 levels lower, but as we saw last time, this shouldn't be much of an issue. But yeah, I'm not trying to not commentate on that. I'm saying that there were some tough decisions to make in regards to getting a Scyther in Gold version, you know, for a GameLocke, for any type of Nuzlocke, but specifically a GameLocke where we have the potential for an early Caesar at any time, because remember, it's a trade evolution. It's like the Shinzui, it's like a stone. I can do it at any point, and I could, if I was like, hey, you know what, I've gotten everything I want out of Scyther's move pool right now, Caesar level 7. You know, and I'm eligible to do that, so. And yeah, we do defeat Claire. No big deal there. And we do, we end up capturing, in Victory Road, we capture an Ursaring. I didn't see that on the list. Oh, right there. On the list, named Dojima. Gin Dojima. Alright. Ursaring's another Pokemon I've never had the opportunity to use, because once again, I played Silver, then I played Soul Silver and stuff. I've never used a Teddy Ursa. I've actually never really used a Sneasel either. I love a lot of these Pokemon, but the problem with Johto, it's another big issue. Houndour, Murkrow, Sneasel, Larvitar, you know, Slugma, all these Pokemon are post or Kanto version, but post game. You don't get to go get a Houndour, you know, by the 3rd gym. You know, so as a result, there's a lot of Pokemon you don't get the opportunity to use, and that I think that was a bit of a mistake. They were trying to merge both games. I understand the intention behind it, so when people shit on Johto, I defend it tooth and nail, because there's a lot of reasoning behind it. Not saying that nowadays it wasn't a mistake, but they made a goddamn decision. They thought it was the good decision at the time, and at the time, it seemed like it would be. And there is good reasoning behind why it looked like a good idea on paper. It's just that now, looking back, could have made some better choices, right? But that's hindsight. I'm not going to blame a company that gave us Pokemon, the biggest media franchise of all time, you know, and not say that they're perfect, you know? So, but Garp here is sweeping up like freaking crazy here up against our rival. Just insane. And Dragon Breath paralyzes the electric type. You gotta love it. Goes for paralysis himself. Alright, fair enough, Magneton. Fair enough. Well, let's see how you like... Oh, Ichiryu, not Toriko? What are we doing? Fully paralyzed? Alright, no abilities. So no Levitate. And we taught Ichiryu Earthquake, baby. Alright, we went and got that Earthquake. And what did I say about the Pilot Swine? It's like, alright, let's do this. So... Let's go. Let's go. Ichiryu with Earthquake. Tauros with Earthquake. This is a match made in heaven. And once again, it would be kind of OP if everything was an egg move. That's why I say no TM moves and no HM moves for the point system. That's a hard limit. But any egg moves, move tutor moves, anything like that, that's all fair fucking game, baby. And of course, if you find the TM, even sweeter. Let's go. Kick his ass. Yeah. Physical powerhouse. His attack stats off the charts. It's 100. It might not be stab, but it does not fucking matter. And that Typhlosion, eat your heart out, baby. Ichiryu. So between Garp and Ichiryu, we're taking this rival down one shot at a time. To be fair, I'm not surprised that a Typhlosion, only 1 level lower, would survive 1 Earthquake from a non-stab Tauros. I'm not surprised by that, but still did such massive damage. Like, who's complaining? I love to see it. I love to see it. This fight made me happy, I will say. I did this, like, when did I do this? Like, a week and a half ago? Yeah, it was when I did this fight, and, or maybe a little longer. Maybe 2 weeks. But anyways, it was recently, and, yeah. I remember loving every minute of that. Yeah, this is absolutely fantastic. And here goes our rival. And now we're finally into the Elite Four once again. Let's hope this one goes a wee bit better than our last time here with Silver. So let's go up against Will. Same strategy as before, I'm assuming. Shunsui, our GOAT. Let's go, Shunsui, captain of the 8th Division. And later on, spoiler alert, Captain Commander of the Gote 13! I think appropriate. I think it's appropriate that Jolteon is Shunsui because looks a little laid back, a little bit like not exactly the powerhouse that he is, but like he just brings the thunder every time. That is the ugliest Jinx sprite I think I've ever bloody seen. And boom, Shadow Ball time. Boom! We were ready for Jinx with Shadow Ball this time. It's like, oh yeah, we're just going all out. Like, why am I holding on to these TMs? Let's just have some versatility here. So Executor, yeah, Shadow Ball you too. What about it? It's our special attacking stat. It's gonna do plenty of damage, and now it's a 3. Oh, and with that special defense drop, we got this in one shot. Now we were seeded. I don't think I want to give out that much HP. So, yeah, Kenpachi's not a bad choice because we switch out. We can Ice Beam the Executor. Just going to go for a Psychic. The Ice Beam should take out the Executor from that range. That Psychic did more than I thought, but it is what it is. Ice Beam him. Which I believe I also gave him the Ice, the Never Melt Ice or whatever to increase his Ice abilities, unlike last time. The hold item. And then he's got a Slowbro, but he's got the Xatu. Which, of course, I can just switch back into Shunsui now that there's no... Yeah, what am I thinking? I was like, oh no, Shunsui's tainted. It's like, no, I'm just getting rid of the Leech Seed problem. So yeah, Amnesia raises the special defense a lot, which is a bit of an issue because that's our whole strategy up against the Slowbro, is Thunderbolt. So it's going to do only... Oh, still half. Still half. Goes for Curse, which raises the special attack. No, the attack and the defense speed goes down, right? So this is not going to matter at all. Normally an Amnesia Slowbro is very, very scary for obvious reasons, but Shinsui's special attack is cut him through the roof. So, let's go. And we're a little weaker than last time, aren't we? Only level 41? And one Thunderbolt should take out, yeah, the Xatu. Okay, let's go. And let's just quickly see if we can glimpse that special attack stat. 117, I think I saw. That's for level 4. If we're in the 40s, that's kind of crazy. So we don't need Thunder Wave because we've already got a full set of attacking moves that we want. And boom, Shunsui does not clear Will by himself. Does not sweep, but you know, we didn't take a whole lot of damage either. 47 damage for Kenpachi. Something we can heal up with one Super Potion. Yep. So let's, or multiple potions, of course. One Super Potion, boom. As I said, we run back to Pokemon Centers like crazy. I'm gonna just straight up say it. Like, I save everything because you never know what kind of situation you're gonna be in. I save all the way to the potion level, you know? Like, anything, if I don't have to use it, I don't use it. Because once you're here, and you can't buy anything from the PokeMart, the last thing you want to do is be like, I could survive this hit if I had one Hyper Potion left, you know? And it's like, well, use that Hyper Potion in the 7th gym, you know? Like, and you could have done other choices, right? Use a different Pokemon, do a different strategy. Like, there's... The Elite Four is when you want to save as many of these items for, right? Given our GameLocke rules. And for those of you who don't know what the hell I'm talking about, go down in the description down below or watch the opening video of this playlist. And I go through the rules, I believe, and I explain what... go through some of the rules of... Well, no, I go through the GameLocke rules, actually, so never mind. I don't even know what I'm telling you guys to do. go down to the description. It'll explain all the different rules about how to use items in my Nuzlocke challenges and stuff. So obviously with Koga, the first two are never a question. You jump in with Flamethrower and you win. Now the Muck's going to come out next because that's what happens. I will say the Silver Muck looks better than the Gold Muck. I will say that. But the Red and Blue Muck always is going to be number one. Silver Muck is a close second though. The Yellow Muck doesn't look that great. And we take that Sludge Bomb to the face. It does a hefty amount, and we're poisoned. Okay, so we have a choice here. Do we dig, do we Flamethrower, or do we just switch? And we go to, once again, our wall, our choice. When all else fails, Ichiryu, the first son, can take a Sludge Bomb to the face. Pretty well, actually. And, of course, Poison type, Earthquake. Now, Muck is a defense wall, special and otherwise. Ichiryu. It's a powerhouse. And we kill him one shot. Let's go. Got rid of his wall. All he's got left is Venomoth and what's the other one? I am drawing a goddamn blank. What is it? Oh, it's Crobat. Yeah. I'm like, I know this. I know this. So a couple of strengths later, and the Venomoth goes down. And since he does, obviously he does not have Arbok, he has Crobat. We can just see, okay, he's going to go for Toxic Knock Double Team. That's good. Because now we can start hitting Strength. Because he, while Crobat doesn't have lack of bulk, it's not a bulky Pokemon. And a Stab Strength. Yeah. Still going for that Toxic. He's probably going to full Restore up. Or Hyper Potion. Yeah, full Restore. And at that red range. So we're just going to keep going for the Strength. He's going to keep trying to Toxic instead of double teaming. I find it strange. I mean, it's obviously dependent on the AI and stuff. But the gold Elite Four and the gold gym leaders and rivals are doing different things. Like completely different. In a lot of respects from the silver counterpart. I wonder if there is something different between the programming in silver and gold specifically. You know, like just that algorithm ratio that's like, okay, if this value is this, then they're more likely to do that. Like I wonder if they're like switched or opposites or something, you know. But we do defeat Koga, so now we're two for two. Let's go up against Bruno, the one who, that damn Machamp. Which we have no answer for, by the way. Poison Cure Berry for Torkoal. And a Super Potion or two. One Super Potion there. And it's going to take 2 Super Potions or a few potions. Ichiryu is going to take 1 Super Potion. Alright. 3 Super Potions left. And now we have to make a choice here. We're going to start with Ichiryu against the fighting guy. My hands are in the air as much as your guys's. Hitmontop has... He starts with Hitmontop. So maybe we're just hoping for a quick Earthquake and call it a day. And then he's going to bring out the Onix and we Earthquake that too. Let's just see what our strategy here is. Yeah, it's Earthquake. Okay. So we Earthquake. It doesn't do... That's why. That's why. The dig. That's right. That's right. See? I had kidneys. I had kidneys. As they say. Up here, the gray matter. And now he does jump into the Hitmonlee. Okay, he does not. He's not that stupid. So, of course, it doubles underground. So, the dig. I expected the dig move. Yeah, okay. So, we switch to Torkoal. We're going to take a double kick, not a jump kick. Okay. It's actually better. Because, obviously, it does less damage. And now a Flamethrower should do 3/4, I want to say. Nah, about 3/5 maybe. And that high jump kick, that hurt. But we can two-shot the Hitmonlee with a flamethrower. So we're going to take it. Bruno, we don't really have, as I said, no psychic type, no flyers. We don't have an answer for Bruno anymore, really. And in comes the Onix. Now that Onix sprite does look pretty cool. I do like that Onix sprite. And switch to Roo again. The Ichiryu with our Earthquake, of course. Onix is going to go for the Earthquake. Okay, Bruno's no slack. He knows where the Earthquake TM is. God damn. Oh, critical hit. I was going to say, like, what happened there? Onix might have attack power, but my god. Might be stabbed, but Jesus. Mine's super effective, though. Still did only about the same, and now it's an Earthquake battle. But this is good because each Ryu can't switch out to the Machamp anyways, so instead of using Kenpachi to take slow roasting damage, like, burn out the rest of the team, we have healing items. You know, we've only been using super potions thus far, still have some stocked up. You know, I'd rather burn ourselves out in that regard. We're going to go Garp. It's level 44. Soma or Garp? Okay, we're going to go Garp. Let's see what he does. Goes for the Mach Punch, like we expected because it was Tauros. Once again, he doesn't have the bulk of Dragon Knight. Thunderwave. Okay, fair enough. So we have a little bit of fully paralysis. Alright. Thunderbolt time, baby. Let's see what that does. Mild. Alright. And with Dragon Breath. Let's try the stab move. About the same. Maybe a little bit more. Ice Punch. But it's going to do very... Actually, still did quite a bit, considering. Dragon Breath we go for again. And he's right down to the red. He's fully paralyzed. But he's likely to... We're going to switch out to the Fresh. Yeah, for the last Onix and the Machamp, right? Oh wait, there is only one Onix. Switch out for the Ice Punch. Take it. Go for the Strength. The Ice Beam, it doesn't matter. Right, went for the Strength. Take out the Hitmonchan. There would only be because he's got Hitmonchan top. So he doesn't have two double Onix anymore. So it's just the Machamp left. We have a fully basically healed Kenpachi to be able to take whatever the hell he dishes out. We can surf him. Alright. We were trying to take no chances with the switch in for the Machamp. We didn't want to switch in, take a hit. Because look at that. And that cross chop, yeah. Cross chop is a dangerous ass move. Thankfully it missed because his accuracy is only like 75 or 80. But yeah. Okay, come on, high roll. Yes! No, critical hit, not a high roll. But still, got rid of that Machamp this time. That's probably the most dangerous thing in this Elite Four lineup is that bloody Machamp. Because of the cross chop, and when you're on set mode, you can't switch into it safely. Because if it hits, and then you get screwed on something else, like... It's got Rock Slide, so flying types are out, as we found out with Ichibei. They're gone and not forgotten Aerodactyl. So now we're up against Karen. We got to heal up this team, as you guys can tell. We've got a few max potions left and 2 full restores. But we're going to have to basically use up a little bit of this to heal up the team. We need 2 max potions pretty much. 1 for Ichiryu, 1 for Toriko. And so that leaves us with 1 max potion, no hyper potions left, 2 full restores, and a couple of measly healing items. But I think we can beat Karen like this. Everyone just has there's a little bit of chip damage going on. But yeah, let's go Evolution versus Evolution this time. Let's see what she can do against that. How about that? Considering we have double kick. Let's see about this. Let's see what she got. And that does nothing. Okay. Here comes this sand attack bullshit. I hate this bloody Umbreon. Pin Missile. And only hit twice anyways. My god. Just go for the Thunderbolt at this point. Holy shit. And the Feint Attack does basically nothing. Thunderbolt, well at least that Sand Attack hasn't affected us. And the Thunderbolt does more than both, and it paralyzed him, so I might as well start with the Thunderbolt. We probably would have ended this by now. Goes for the Feint Attack. Take some damage. And fuck your Sand Attack, man. We're Shunsui. You gonna throw some dirt in my eyes? I can see just fine. Vileplume time. Alright, now we gotta switch. Really? Okay, we really want to keep this. Oh my god. We're just being stubborn at this point. There was an easy switch there. We didn't take it. Now we're going to take Petal Dance damage. For what purpose? There was no reason for that. Alright, so now we just took more damage. No good reason. Switch into Torkoal like we should have done from the first shot. Going to take some Petal Dance damage. And, I mean, supposedly the Stun Spore could have hit, and then we paralyzed, whatever, but that could have healed up and stuff. It's fine. And a Flamethrower from a level 42 to a 42, this should kill in one hit, I want to say. Yeah. There we go. Where it's not Flame Wheel, it's Flamethrower. That does make a massive difference, obviously, because Flame Wheel's like 65, but Flamethrower's 95. Like, it's a massive difference. Here comes the Gengar. We're just gonna Flame Wheel his ass too. Or Flame Wheel. I just finished saying. But double Flamethrower should do it, and the curse should kill him. So he cursed me, but he killed himself in the process. Okay, Gengar. Another dangerous Pokemon, like the Umbreon, like the statuses of Karen. Karen can be dangerous if you get caught unawares and let her set up too much. You know, and then you don't have viable switch-ins and shit. Honestly, you should switch into Ichiryu because then you can Earthquake the Houndoom after you finish off the Murkrow with just Strength or Headbutt. But I think I made a bad choice here by switching into the super effective Thunderbolts. I suppose we're thinking about Waterfall. Oh, and even that Thunderbolt was not enough to kill the Murkrow, so we're going to take double Feint Attack damage. We're not going to be able to stay in on the bloody, on the Houndoom. So now we got to switch to Kenpachi anyways. We're assuming their heal's coming. The heal does not come. So we take a Feint Attack. And now we're at 115. Might as well just go for the Ice Beam. Take care in case, because I'm still worried. I don't know what the ratio is. Like, when do they choose? Like, you would think it's always when they go in the red, but it's not always the case. It's like some Pokemon, they will never full restore. As I said, I'm not sure about the algorithm and shit. But yeah, obviously we're into the Houndoom fight. We actually outspeed the Houndoom this time. I don't think we did that last time. And now we can surf the Houndoom. Should do over half. Yeah, and it does. We take the Crunch, which is going to do significant damage. But since we outspeed him, Max Potion all you want. Surf City, baby. I was thinking more Ichiryu with the Earthquake, you know, because Crunch and Flamethrower wouldn't do as much to him. Earthquake would definitely devastate his weaker defensive stat, I'd like to say, because Houndoom has a weaker defense stat than special defense, I want to say. I don't know that for certain, but I'm thinking that Earthquake would have done as much as Surf or more, but we could have taken a hit better. I don't know. But all our stats are now officially in the hundreds with level 46 Kenpachi, so this version, once again, because I randomize all the IVs every time I plug them into the next run, this Kenpachi is obviously slightly better or stronger IV and stat-wise than our silver one. Our silver one was kind of on the back foot. And now we are about to jump into our champion battle. before we do that, someone needs to pause and use the restroom. And we are potioning up anyways. So, but yeah, there will be a small cut right here. Alright, so cut complete. Now we are into, as I said, just healing up, using up the last of our potions here to heal up the chip damage a little bit here and there. Because obviously we don't have a whole lot of healing items left if things start to go south against Lance. I don't anticipate they will. With a bulky Kenpachi holding, I think, Nevermelt Ice is what we gave him from the Ice Cave before Blackthorn. Or something like that. I think that's what, yeah. And that obviously boosts up, slightly boosts his Ice Beam and stuff like that. And he's a stronger Kenpachi than he was back in Silver. Because as I said, when I plug them into the game, unless I've specifically given them like an IV boost or something like that, I just hit randomize 5 times, and whatever I'm left with, I just hit randomize IVs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's the one I nickname and put in the game. And I do that for every single one that enters the game. And I don't really look at it because I sort of just, that's why when I first hit it, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I switch the screen without paying too much attention. That way I'm sort of like, no, I'm going to play this game the way I would without knowing the IVs, you know. So that's normally how I do it, but obviously this Kenpachi's stronger. I don't expect, as I said, to have much of a problem here with Lance. We got Shunsui, we got Kenpachi, and we got Ichiryu as a wall. Let's be real. Like, there should be no danger. Plus, worst comes to worst, we do have Dragonair sitting there with Dragon Breath. Garp is not ideal up against Lance. He's, you know, he'd be up against a stronger counterpart, but worst comes to worst. Like, look at that Gyarados sprite. That is bloody gorgeous. That is intimidating. It's sexy. That's the best Gyarados sprite, I think. But as always, Gyarados goes down to a single Thunderbolt. Bum 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 ba-dum, ba-dum, dum, dum. And in comes the Dragonite. But we're just going to go for it, as we did last time. It's neutral damage due to that flying type. Thunderbolt him. Ooh, 3 Thunderbolts would probably take this guy out. Okay, he Thunder Waves instead of attacking. Let's take that Hyper Beam to the face. And was that a good idea? Ooh, baby, I don't think that was a smart choice. But we're not fully paralyzed. We get the Thunderbolt off, and there's the recharge. Oh, man. We do have one more turn. We take the switch. I mean, it is a free switch, to be fair. He must recharge. But we are faster than the 47 Dragonite, so boom. That was the fair play to do. Because now we get the free switch into Kenpachi. He's almost at full HP. I don't know why we didn't use the last potion on his chip damage, but... Or did we run out of potions there? I wasn't paying enough attention, I guess. And in comes, alright, the second of the 3 Dragonites. Ice Beam with Nevermelt Ice. Times 4, this should kill in 1 hit. If our Kenpachi is stronger than last time, yep, there's no doubt it can do that. Because if this is stronger than the silver one. You know, ideally what I should do... Oh, and here comes the level 50. Here comes the ace. Let's do it. I should make it a point to say, okay, they can't be any weaker than their last iteration if they survive a GameLocke run. And we take out the level 50 in 1 hit as well. Let's go. Kenpachi. There's no question now. Aerodactyl and Charizard have got nothing on Kenpachi. Surf his ass. Yeah, Rock Slide all you want. I got a full restore waiting. I would not even bother switching. But yeah, I'm wondering if in the future, because obviously I didn't start this way, so I won't continue to do this. But if I ever attempt another GenLocke or GameLocke, I don't think I'll ever do a GameLocke again, no matter how far I get. Because it's a huge endeavor, you know. But if I ever do a GenLocke or something like that again, or even just a GameLocke, regional GameLocke or something, I think it would be only fair to say, okay, Kenpachi beat the Elite Four in red, right? And here was his IVs. His next iteration cannot have IVs weaker than that. They can be stronger, but they can't be weaker. So when you roll the dice on the randomized IVs, you just, you know what I mean? You're like, okay, the special defense stat and the speed are better, but all these now, the HP and everything has to be now even to what it was before because they're weaker. You know, he can only get stronger. He can't go backwards because I feel like the Silver Kenpachi was the weakest version of our Kenpachi we've had since Green. So, yeah. But yeah, we beat Lance once again. This is fantastic. Obviously. We beat Lance. And that means also, ladies and gentlemen, Elite Four sweep. We get 2 points this time, baby. 2 points. Obviously, we have Soma, and we did not go with my Scyther idea. I don't know if that was for the best or not, realistically, because now I'm sort of regretting it, because we could have, if we had went through a Scyther, we did not use Soma at all in the Elite Four, so we did it without him. We could have brought Scyther in, said bye to Soma, kept Jirichiro, and then could have had a Caesar level 5. Kind of regrets. The regrets we take, right? Because now we'll never get a Caesar. So there's no Caesars in the wild. Scyther is disqualified. Yep. Damn, I don't know if we made the right call there. I really don't. Because it's cool, and once again, Soma is cool. I like Chikorita line. I do. Even though I don't know how to say Megumi or Megami or whatever the fuck, however you... Meganium. However you say that name. I still am sitting here going, you know, we used, obviously, very useful throughout the run. I remember this. It was not that long ago. Like, this isn't 3 months later. This was only a few weeks ago when I played through the game. And yes, I heavily used and was very viable, very good Pokemon to have, a starter. But it just, obviously not as useful in the Elite Four battles. And I think the potential when we jump into the next game, when we jump into Crystal, and if we manage to do Crystal and we go into the 3rd gen, will Scyther / Caesar be a lot more versatile and viable than just a grass type. Than just a straight up grass type. We're not grass poison, to be fair. So, no weakness to Psychic in that regard, which is kind of nice. But, yeah, I'm not sure. Now, as I said, in gold here, we only our disqualified list is not that big. In fact, we only add 4 names to the list. It's not a huge list because there wasn't anything to catch. Everything was already disqualified by Kanto by that point, and everything else in silver. So, thankfully, there's not a whole lot that, that we missed out on in that regard. Which is good for the future, because some of these Johto Pokemon eventually will appear again, depending on how far we get. They will appear again. So the fact that our disqualified list is quite small this time is only a good thing. Because there's still some Kanto Pokemon that we could potentially get later on. Obviously, there's plenty of Johto Pokemon we could get later on. So yeah. What do you guys think? You know, this is the end. We successfully did gold, and we got 2 points for it. Elite Four sweep and a completion. So, yeah. Alright, Pokemon fans and Pokemon trainers, that is the end, as you guys already saw, of the gold run. A nice sweep. 0 losses. We'd love to see that big 0 on that front, because it's been a couple of games since we've had a flawless run, which is incredibly nice here. As I said, we get 2 points. Will we spend them both? I'm not sure going into Crystal. Looking at our team, I'm still really debating whether I made the right call in bringing Soma through, because there's so many grass options, but having an early Caesar, a level 5 Caesar, because all we had to do was bring the Scyther into the fold, into the Elite Four, then we could have immediately used one of our points and brought in a Metal Coat. then we can trade evolution at any point into Crystal, into Ruby, into Sapphire, into whatever, however far we go. And a Scizor feels a lot, really like a big missed opportunity. And now disqualified, so we made our bed, we got to sleep in it. But yeah, I'm just wondering what you guys think. Did I make the right call in keeping a grass starter with a little bit more versus maybe some more options? But the Scizor thing, I think, has a lot more of a wide variety. There's variation. There's versatility there. I don't know. I don't know if I made the right call or not. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe as always. We'll see you guys back here for the final Johto run of the GameLocke, which will be Crystal version. Looking forward to it. I've only played through Crystal, I think, once. I think it was once, maybe twice, but I swear I've only played it once. So, yeah, looking forward to any of the changes. I know about the Suicune stuff with, what's his name? Yusui, or whatever his name is. And stuff like that. But any other changes, like to the gym battles and stuff like that, I'm kind of going in a little bit blind. So, let's see what happens. But, yeah, stay tuned for that. And we will see you guys back here next time. Like, comment, subscribe, as I already said. And Crystal version on the horizon. Have a good one, everyone. Sayonara.